Shaky start. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. Hi, I'm Jen. It's so nice to meet you. If this is your first challenge, welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your repeat challenge, which I know many of you did sign up again, welcome back. Thank you for trusting me and for being proof of how powerful carb cycling can really be. As many of you starting out will learn, there is a really nice underlying theme behind what we're doing together. And that is learning your awareness around food, learning about a lot of your behavior defaults in those busy or crazy days, those stressful times. And also for me, frankly, the biggest thing I learned was portion. As a girl out of Chicago, it was finish what's on your plate, right? It was just the T-bone steak was like this big and I had to finish it. And that to me was a portion. And you really start to realize that based on your goals, based on where you're at, based on what your body needs, you're going to be able to understand what 20, 30, 40 grams of protein really look like. Same with carbs, same with fats. And that's really the power in what's going on. I think a lot of you have goals. They're real, they're important, and they're health oriented. And yet you're just like, why am I in this plateau? Why am I slipping? Why am I struggling? And then you ultimately give up and we think there's something wrong with our willpower, but really it's difficult to put that much effort in and not see forward progress. And often the forward progress is not there because there's an energy leak, is what I call it, from effort and you trying to eat better or work out. And this is going to help you really dial in the food. So you're going to see a very expressed difference, not only in your physique, but in your mental state, your stress levels, and your progress. So if you know me, you know I have lists. These are all the things we need to cover. You also see this nice big board behind me. For all of you struggling with your math, I got you. Don't worry. It's fine. Everybody had this question. So I'm going to go through a high carb day for me as well as a low carb day. So we're all on the same page there. Really quickly though, I want to say I'm Jen Wiederstrom. I am a kid out of Chicago, as I just mentioned. My folks were both teachers and coaches. So it was kind of a natural progression for me to also become a coach and a teacher. And I specifically started doing these online challenges because I miss coaching. I'm not in a position in my career where I can be doing group classes anymore and do that private training. It creates such a different involvement and intention in me being in the same city for a while. And that's not really my life right now, but this gives me a chance to directly talk to you. Already this week, I've had dozens and dozens of emails from you guys at transform@wiederstrong.com. By the way, yes, it's me. If you email that email, it's always going to be me. I don't have anybody working for me. Nobody's coaching for me or answering for me. That's the power of this challenge, is you get a real coach that really does care about you. So, but that's my favorite part. It gives me a chance to meet you guys, hear about your story, know what's really going on, and be on your team, helping you find the way forward. So as I said, email me if you have questions. I love coaching. And if you want to kind of be involved in my day-to-day stuff, my Instagram is just @Jen Wiederstrom. And same with my Facebook page. But if I do have a private women's group, if you want extra support there, it's the Wiederstrong Women on Facebook. That helps you out at all. So a couple things to get out of the way. Coffee time. Ooh. Your before and after photos. For any of you that are doing this challenge and trying to compete for one of those prizes, which by the way, you'll get Laura's Lean Meat straight to your door, no hormones or ever antibiotics ever added, all grass-fed vegetarian beef. I also love it because I do individual servings. So especially someone that lives alone with her bulldog, I can get one square of chicken, I can get one steak or ribeye or one serving for me. That's really helpful. So keep that in mind. You also get super coffee delivered to your door, and I'm also giving away $500 cash prize. Now I've been doing something that pretty much every time I have 100 people sign up, I choose a winner from that 100. If I have 500, I have 5 winners. I have 600, 6 winners. So I just like rewarding great success. And I'm not talking success being having to be a six-pack, but I want forward progression, not just in your body, but in your headspace as well. So those before and after pictures, I need you to take the picture with a timestamp in the first 24 hours of the challenge. If you take the picture late, it's not really a big deal. It's just you want to be as close to your start as possible for you. Now, the after photo will happen on the 30th day of the challenge, which I'll make sure I clarify those end rules. But I do not need either photo yet. Both those photos before And after, you can do forward, backward, sideways, any profile you like. I actually prefer all three because I think it's helpful for you to see the changes in your body. These are for you just as much as they are for me. Wink, wink. But I want them all sent to me at the very end of the challenge, again, to transform@wedostrong.com. So hold on to those and make sure you have a timestamp. Some people hold up newspapers. All is good for me. So now let's dig into the math. This is probably everyone's greatest question right here. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to kind of scoot us forward and give us a chance to dig into this. So just keep in mind that since I've done this challenge, I always show my own numbers. I've had a birthday. So if you look in your TD score, the TDEE calculator, tdcalculator.net, you'll get your TD score. What's really important, you put the correct age, you put your correct gender, you put your correct amount of activity level. They have one of the options as sedentary and then in parentheses, office job. Just because you have an office job doesn't mean you put that down. If you're working out 4 or 5 times a week, like for me, I'm sitting most of the time. I'm working, sitting, writing, programming, sitting, but I work out 4 to 5 times a week. So I would put in the category of workout activity between 3 to 5 days of activity a week. So please make sure, just because you have a sedentary job, if you're not working out and you have a sedentary job, then yeah, that's what you put. But if you're cranking and working out, make sure that's how you represent that in the formula so it's accurate and we're getting you enough calories. So as I was saying, I've had a birthday, so now I'm 37. I've also lost a little weight because of my activity has been consistent, and so is my carb cycling. So I'm down to 140. So when I plug in that formula, and I'm just gonna make sure I'm gonna move this chair and get you guys nice and close. I'm gonna do this as a calculator step by step so you fully get it. And what's really important about this is I have us doing this in a way so you fully understand how to do this. This is a lifelong skill that I want you to feel equipped with. By the way, these emails don't go away. I don't delete them. They're links for you. So please keep them in your back pocket and use them. So what I have discovered is that my new TD score, there's my calculator, which is a acronym for total daily energy expenditure. By the way, energy, the unit of energy is a calorie. Calories are great. It's just a unit of energy, the way that we measure that energy surplus being in your macros, okay? So total daily energy expenditure. What is the total daily caloric, right, energy expenditure that you use for your body to run? That means to just breathe, for your organs to work, for you to think. And that's why the activity part is so important, because now you're actually putting that into the equation of what your body's burning. So we're gonna do a high carb day first. Can we see this? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so here we go. My TD score is, it's a little shadowy. Hold on, guys. Boom. My TD score is 2072. Okay, so what I did is that was the score that spit out based on all the information that was unique and custom to me. This is really critical. And by the way, if your weight drops about 5 pounds, redo your score. Anything 5 or more, 4 or more, redo your score. If your activity level changes, redo your score. The accuracy around this is so critical because I'm customizing these macros to you. So now we have this in my high carb day, and this is at 140 pounds, okay? And so what we want to do in the high carb day, we're taking a 10% deficit. Now for most people that are in the challenge and all the emails I see, we're all trying to drop some fat and gain and maintain some muscle. There is in the packet information on how to gain muscle. In this case, instead of doing a deficit of your TD score, you would actually be in surplus. It's all worked out. The math equation is very similar. I'm going to stick with the high and low carb days for weight loss, just to keep it streamlined for everybody. But what we're going to do is at that TD score, we're going to take, this should be a multiplication sign, we're going to take 90% of that, all right? Because we're at a 10% deficit, so then therefore 90% of 2072, let's do the math together. So 2072, can't type, multiplied by 0.9, because to create a percent, you move the decimal over. You've got 1,864.8 calories, okay? I'm gonna round that up to 1,865, okay? So this is the total calories that we are working with on my high carb days, 90% of my total TD score, all right? On those high carb days, we take 50% of these calories in order to find out our number of carbohydrates. So we have 1865 multiplied by 50%, Get my calculator back out. Can't do it without it. So 1865 multiplied by 50%. We have got, oop, I did that wrong. 1865. Oh, I did this wrong. Haha. Divided by, sorry guys, this should be a division sign. Bear with me. So half of the calories of the total for the day goes to your carbohydrates. So 1865 times 15%. Okay, so times 50%. Oh, I keep doing multiplication. I'm seriously going to stop and have coffee. It's going to be fine. We could also just take that and divide it by 2. So let's try this again. 1865. 1865. All right. You can do, oh. I just realized I'm completely confusing, guys. You can absolutely multiply the 1865 times 0.5, which is 50%, which is 932. You could also take that 1865 and divide it by 2. Either way, that's where I was confusing you guys. Oh my God, bear with me. So now we have 932 calories because we took the 1865, took 50% of it, which is our carbs for that day, and we have 932 calories for carbs. In order to find out how many grams, you take the 932 and you divide it by 4 because there's 4 calories per every gram of carbs. So 932 divided by 4, and that equals 233. So on your high carb day, for me, I'm doing 233 grams of carbs. I hope that made sense. Oh, forgive me, guys. All right, so now what we know is our carbs in order to find our proteins and fats. When we look at our protein, we know that we're hitting 1 gram per body weight for protein. So that is 140 pounds, which equals to grams. So we actually know already that today, that's our protein. The reason we need to do some math here is in order to find the calories of those proteins so we know how many calories are left for the fats. So we're going to go ahead and take 140 grams because it's 140 pounds of body weight, therefore 1 gram per body weight, 140 grams of protein, and we multiply that by 4 because there is 4 calories in every 1 gram of protein. So this is multiplied by 4, and that equals 560. All right, so now my circles are our calories for carbs, our calories for our proteins. How do we find our fats? We take our total deficit TD score, which is the 1865. We subtract the 233 calories from carbs. Oh, I keep messing up. We subtract the 932. This is why I put circles and squares. 932. Again, we're just operating with calories. 1865 minus the 932 calories of carbs minus the 560 calories of protein, which do this together, 1865 minus 932 minus 560. I missed a number, hold on guys, minus 932 minus 560, which I get a number of 373. Again, that's calories for fat. And how do we find our grams of fat? But take the 373 and you divide it by 9 because there's actually 9 calories per every gram of fat. So 373 divided by 9 equals, I'm looking at 41.4 grams. So we'll just keep that at 41 grams of fat. So hope you guys stayed along for that ride. What we've got on my high carb days, which is every 4th day, I go low, 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 high, low, 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 high. My high carb days, I've got 233 grams of carbs, I've got 140 grams of protein, and I have got 41 grams of fat, okay? Now that we've done that, let me give you low carb, and I promise I'll do it better. I'll do this a little bit faster. Low carb day. What did we decide? Hold on, my TD score is, so we use the same starting TD score, 2072. 2072. Now, we are doing a deficit of 25% of your calories. So 25% less of the 2072. So we take 2072, multiply it by 75% because we want 75% of the total, okay? Whoop, 2072 times 0.75 equals, so now we're looking at 1554. And I'm still 140 pounds, right? So here we go. These are our total calories for the day on my low carb day. So you can see the differentiation. We go low, low, low at the 1554, and then we go one high, and we come back to here. So in order to get our carbohydrates, we're gonna take the 1554, and we're doing 20% of our carbohydrates to be from this number. So whereas in the high carb days it was 50%, we're only doing 20%. So 1554 times 20% equals 310. It's 310.8. I'm gonna round up to 11 because let's do it. So 311 calories for carbs, just like before. We divide that by 4 because there's 4 calories in every 1 gram of carbohydrate. So we're gonna go 311 divided by 4 equals 77.75. We'll make that 78. So 78 grams of carbs right there. Very straightforward. The math is exactly the same for your protein, right? We know there's 140 grams of protein because that's how much I weigh. And we're gonna take that and we're actually gonna multiply it once again, just like before. You could take the math from the other page. I'm just gonna do it here again for repetition. 140 times 4, because there's 4 calories in every 1 gram of protein, and this equals 560 again, okay? So here's our calories for carb and our calories for protein. I'm gonna make this green out because these are our grams, okay? Just like before, the number left is how we find the fat. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 15, can you see this here? Yep, 54 calories of the day at that deficit. We're going to subtract the 311 for your carbs. We're going to subtract the 560 calories for your protein. And we're going to get the remaining calories we have left that will go towards our fats. Type that backwards. 1554 minus 311 minus, great band right away, 311 minus 560 equals, so now we've got this final number of 683. Those are my calories for my fat. We're going to divide it by 9 because there's 9 calories in every 1 gram of fat. So we have that divided by 9, and now we've got 75.8. We'll round that up to 76 grams of fat. Boom. So that's your carb, and that's your protein, that's your fat. So as you can see with this breakdown of the formula, it changes a lot. Whereas my carbs were much higher on the high carb day, the fats become much higher on my low carb day. So I'm gonna kind of leave that back there. Make sure you rewind this screenshot at whatever you gotta do to make it right. Thanks for bearing with me in my math equation. Took me a second. So that's the math. Talked about accuracy. A couple more things and then I can let you go. When it comes to protein, I know it's gonna be tough to get some of these numbers in. Some of you are starting from a higher number. We're all at different fitness levels and health levels, and just know that easy ways to get protein in, choose carbs and fats that have proteins. So like an egg is a great source of protein, it also has fat in it. Nuts have fat, it also has protein, right? Oatmeal, quinoa, both carbohydrates, both have a lot of protein. So be creative that way. Also, shakes are going to be your best friend. So if you get to the end of the day, you're like, oh, I'm still like 50 grams below my protein, put water in the shaker or blend it if you want. You don't have to be fancy. Put 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever grams of protein you need, crush it right before bed. It's totally okay. I say water because it's before bed, and sometimes I just want that protein to immediately get into your system, essentially. So keep that in mind. If any of you are above the 250 to 300 range in your weight, please email me and I'll create a custom number for you. It's going to be really important that we get that number right, because getting in that many calories of protein is going to be difficult. I have one guy in our group, I won't say his name, but he's 6'3", former athlete. Him getting in 250 grams of protein is no problem. Like, he needs it. So, but we can customize it to you. Don't be afraid to ask. Transform@weederstrong.com. You will also see in this challenge, I've given you a meals option list, okay? I've created options for you in the morning, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, giving you a chance to basically create some variety and get some ideas in the kitchen. I give you recipes, I've broken down macros, I've created all of that for you, but make sure you are customizing it to you. For instance, I just talked about a guy that's 6'3", former athlete. He's over 250 pounds. The serving I have for the homemade yogurt parfait will be different for him than for me at 140 pounds. So make sure you look at the ingredients as the direction and start to formulate the balance of what I have there in a bigger or smaller way based on your needs for that meal. This is where your action and activity around these numbers are important. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a little annoying. The first week, you're going to be a little frustrated trying to find your rhythm. It will all make sense. You will get better. I promise, promise, promise. Do not worry about it. If you need to even create some consistency, make the same breakfast every day, pack the same lunch, whatever, it's okay in that first week. Create some variety at dinner and the weekends. We have a little bit more time to play and learn, but this is not something you're doing on the side. This is something that's very front and center for you to order in order to pick up and really understand the system for you. I also want to point out, in the first week, you're going to see your most weight loss probably of all 4 weeks. Keep in mind that you're going to see a drop, and then your high carb day, it'll spike up a little bit. The reason for this is because it takes water in order to break down carbs, carbohydrates. It's in the name of the word, okay? So your body is actually going to hang on to water molecules on that high carb day in order to digest those carbohydrates and starches for you, and then your weight will come back down. So don't freak out. It's very, very normal and common and healthy, okay? I'm trying to think. That was all I had. We're over 20 minutes. Okay, that is what I have for you for today.